Hey, good morning. Happy Saturday to you. This is your girl, Coach O, founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated, known as your procrastination strategist, behavior change expert, where I help you to build unshakable confidence, stop procrastinating, and you got it. Get your dreams out of your head into your life. Happy Saturday to you. I pray that you are off to an amazing start to your day. I hope that you have some things planned for your self-care. So many times we aim to be everything to everybody. We feel like we have to be everywhere, involved in everything. And when we're not, we do not feel like we're being effective. So I want you to give yourself some grace and know that it is your divine right for you to be able to do things for yourself and not worry about not being able to serve the masses. So I'm excited. And you see what the title of this live feed is. It's not always going to make sense, but, do it anyway. What you're wanting to do, you're not going to always know the correct steps. You're not going to always know everything to do before you start. Good morning, Robert. Thank you so much for joining. But a lot of times, hey, Brother Warren, thank you so much for joining. A lot of times, if we would just start, the way to go will be revealed along the way. The way to go, you tweak things along the way. A lot of times we will wait before we start. So it's not all going to make sense. It's not going to make sense to those that are around you. It's not always going to make sense to you. And that is perfectly okay. Don't allow what doesn't make sense to stop you from starting. Do not allow what doesn't make sense stop you from starting. So I want to encourage you on today. I want to encourage you to start that thing. Start that thing. Start that thing even when it doesn't make any sense. And we have to be open. A lot of times we are not open to failure. We are not open to failure because we feel like, if we fail, that it is the end of the world. It's not. If we fail, all we have to do is brush ourselves off and start again. Get to a point that you realize that it's not that bad. It is not that bad. It is not that bad where, if you fall, that is the end of you. When you think about it, good morning, Dee. Thank you so much for joining. When you think about starting out in an endeavor and you're working in a certain area and you're doing a certain thing, I want you to remember that success is not permanent, but failure is not fatal. Failure is not going to kill you. Failure makes you stronger. It makes you wiser. It makes you know what to do and what not to do. And so I want to encourage you to do it anyway. You don't have to know every step of the way. You don't have to know every step that is included in the process, because you will find along the way some things you will want to tweak, some things you would want to take out, some things you'll want to tweak, and some things you'll want to delete altogether. And it's okay. It is a program in progress, and it is being built along the way. So success is not, it is not forever, but your failure is not fatal. And so you got to know that failure is not going to kill you. Failure can make you. and break you, but you have to look at it on the positive side. There's always an equal opposite. The law of polarity let us know that, there cannot be an up without a down. There cannot be an in without an out, head without a tail, hot without a cold, light without darkness. So, there's an opposite. So if you find every reason why you can't, the law says that you got to look for reasons why you can. So remember that even when it don't make sense, you can still make some stuff happen. You can get some stuff shaking and moving. Programs and processes go hand in hand. Yes, it does. And so I am just grateful that you have an opportunity to choose whether you're going to make it or not. We have an opportunity to say that I am going to put in more. Failure is not going to be my demise. Failure is not going to be the end of me. It's not the last of me. Failure is not going to take me out. There is a way for me to be able to move forward. There's a way for me to move higher. There's a way for me to be able to get things done in a way like I've never done them before. So I want to encourage you on this weekend that even though it does not make sense, it doesn't make sense. You don't know all the steps. You don't know the whole process. It doesn't make sense to the people you know, the people you are familiar with. It doesn't make sense to the people that you are around. Good morning, Belinda. Thank you so much for joining. It may not make sense, but it'll work itself out. That thing that keep on nudging at you, that thing that keeps coming back up for you, the things that keep coming to mind, we have to stop suppressing it and start to let it flow. You have to let it out, let it flow, let it move, let it shake, let it go into the area. It's just like water. You can't stop water from going through cracks. It doesn't matter how much you try to soak it up. It doesn't matter how much you try to catch it. You cannot stop water from going in cracks. So that thing that you are designed and destined to do, it cannot be stopped. You can have, the smallest. You can have the smallest drip, and over time, a drip will turn into a little puddle, and it'll go into different little cracks. So I want you to be encouraged on today. When it doesn't make sense, do it. When it does not make sense, do it. And it may not never make sense to other people until they see the finished product. And don't be detoured or don't be discouraged and don't get disappointed because people don't see what you're feeling. You have it on the inside. You know what it is that you want. You know what it is that you want to do. And Robert, you got to get up. You got to get, I know COVID has hit. And I know that, you thinking that you was just getting started, and this is right off the cuff. You was just getting started. You was in there. You was very encouraged with Project 400, but it's not over. This is your time behind the scene to be creating a thing that when you're able to get face to face with those that you are desiring to assist, that you will be able to yet do the thing that is not over. Project 400 is not over. And so I want you to be encouraged. I want you to be mapping out your mission, your vision. I want you to be mapping out how you're going to do things when everything open up. It's not over. Project 400 is your baby. It is your baby. And so you got to remember that this is the season that when it feels crazy, when it feels like, you don't really know what to do and all these things, that is the time for you to press in even more. That is the time for you to give even more. That is the time for you to create even more. So I want you to be encouraged, because the enemy will try to make you think that it's not worth it because this happened. It's not worth it because you don't have all the steps and you don't understand everything and you don't have all the money and you don't have this and you don't have that. That's okay. You do not have to have it. It is not meant for you to know everything in the beginning. Good morning, Wanda. Thank you so much for joining. It is not meant for you to know everything in the beginning, but you have to press in. You have to press. And so when the road gets a little rough and times get a little tough, you say that I'm pressing. I am pressing. I'm pressing. Yes, it is a faith walk. When you don't know, you walk by faith, but you keep walking. When you don't quite understand, you ask questions along the way. We don't stop and stand still and just feel like, it's over. It's not over. And so even when it doesn't make sense, if we are willing to walk along the way, it'll start unfolding itself even the more. Every day you get new revelation. Every day you get different support. Every day you will come up with new ideas, new how-tos, new processes. Every day what you need, it will come. You have to look at it as the woman that said, I am about to make some cakes for me and my son and die. But God had another plan. Good morning, Toya. Thank you so much for joining. Good morning, Nikita. Thank you so much for joining. God had another plan. And in that plan, he said, do this and do that. And she didn't question what was asked of her to do. She did exactly what the man of God said, and she never ran out. If you do what God would say, you will never run out. If you trust God is working in your favor, you will never run out. If you follow the steps that he have ordered for you, you will never run out. The word tells us that the steps of a good man, they're ordered by the Lord. And as the woman, she followed the instructions of the man of God. She did what he asked her to do without question, without complaining, without pouting, without singing a song. She did what he asked her to do. And when we do what God has called us to do, in whatever walk of life that you're in, when you do what God called you to do, he will work things out for your greater good. He will work things out in your favor. He would open up doors and he would make ways. And so I'm just super excited. One thing I want to share with you before I get off of here is, if you do not have your copy of New Woman, this book right here is amazing. This book right here is amazing. And if you have ordered your book, pre-orders will be mailed out on Monday. And if you're local, pre-orders will be delivered. I can deliver pre-orders today. And if you haven't gotten a copy, get your copy. But a time for a change has come. New Woman. This book is amazing. And I want to just share. This book right here is going to be a part of a 3-week program, and also a book club. So if you have desired to be a part of a book club, I want you to get your copy of the book for when we kick off the book club, you would have your book. But the name of my chapter is Branded by the Strength of God. Branded by the Strength of God. This book, I am like super, super proud of it. Branded by the Strength of God. Strength. The emotional or mental qualities necessary in dealing with situations or events that are distressing or difficult. Good morning, Susan. Thank you so much for joining. So if you have not gotten your copy of New Woman, A Time for Change is now. This book is only $15, but my chapter is Branded by the Strength of God. That title. Good morning, Marsha. Thank you so much for joining. That title was dropped and downloaded from the Lord himself. And it is so powerful how strategic God is. But this book, I am just so, I am just so proud of God and what he have done, and proud of myself. But branded by the strength of God, I am so proud of how God has used me to share this portion. And so, just a little portion. It said, recently I realized that Being raised without a father had a negative impact in some way of my childhood craziness. Wholeness, happiness, the desire to be affirmed, and all are instinctive characteristics of every human being. I'm telling you, you want this book in your library. We're having a book club over this book, and we're also doing a 3-week program that will include this book. So if you don't have this book in your library, get you a copy. Good morning, Anitra. Thank you so much for joining. But I want you to remember that even not knowing how, not knowing what to do and when to do it and who to do it with and to what capacity to do it, some things that make us afraid, we should set out, we should purpose to do it anyway. I was just talking to God about this, and you're here. See, God is so strategic, Susan. He is so strategic. And, a lot of times we feel like, oh, it was just a coincidence. There are no coincidences with God. Nothing shocks God, woos God, wow God. Everything that happens, God knew it was going to happen before it was going to happen. So I want you to be encouraged. I want you to support this project. I want you to get your copy. If you're local, the book is only $15. If it has to be mail, it's $18. But you want to have a copy of this book. It says change is inevitable. No matter who we are, we will experience change during our life journey. However, most of us do not embrace change joyfully. We resist it as if we were not as if it was not a necessary component to living a successful, enriching life. Imagine if we would understand that on the other side of change is newness waiting to be explored. This is going to be an amazing book. And the second thing that I want to talk to you about is the Empowering 8 Inner Circle. We're kicking off the first Thursday in August. So if you have not secured your spot for the Empowering 8 Inner Circle, don't wait. We're closing off at 8. We're closing off at 8 people. Join the Empowering 8 Inner Circle. I'm super excited with the heights that we're taking. Super excited with the distance that we will be traveling. Super excited. Thank you so much, Susan. I'm super excited about the distance that God has brought me. I was trying to figure out back here about 2 weeks ago. I said, Lord, it seems like I'm in a wilderness. But today he showed me in my devotion why. And I was just like, wow, God. Wow, God, you are truly amazing. The devotion that I read this morning, it says sometimes, the word is hide yourself. Sometimes we have to be taken out of the spotlight. We have to be taken from the crowd. We have to get from no coincidences with God indeed. So glad God connected us. Your work is powerful. Please drop your link to the book. Thank you. Amen. Good morning, Dolores. Thank you so much for joining. I would drop the link, but if you want to send it directly to Cash App, my Cash App is Action Speaks. My Cash App is Action Speaks. But God is so amazing. He said, even during this quarantine, during this time of being quarantined, we have to hide ourselves for 2 reasons. One reason is to protect us, and the second reason is for our growth. So God bless you. I pray that you have an amazing day, and we're getting ready. So I will drop the link. I will be dropping the link. And if you're new to me, again, this is your girl, Coach O, founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated, where I help you to build unshakable confidence, stop procrastinating, and to get your dreams out of your head into your life. I'll talk to you later.